Askren's going to fight in the UFC. Isn't that great? He's like Stephen Avery the first time walking out of prison. Now, Askren will find a way to still rattle some cages along the way.
I think what's interesting about Ben Askren is Ben Askren. Ben Askren, when he was at the UFC, they put a camera on him and the crowd went nuts. He hasn't even fought in the UFC yet. And a lot of people know about him from Bellator fans and ONE FC fans. I think people didn't realize how fucking popular he is and how people want to see what an undefeated wrestler who dominated guys like Lima and Koreshkov in Bellator still hasn't dominated. Don't you want to see what the fuck that guy can do?
Okay.
If I had to bet on, and I'm a betting man, I'd put a lot of dollars on Ben Askren. I think he beats anyone in the world.
Does it bother you that the Vegas odds have you as an underdog versus a guy who's never fought in the UFC, whereas you're a former champion in the UFC?
Well, I don't pay attention to the odds. I figured, and you telling me that, I don't really.
I had him on my show on Monday, fired up. He went on other shows, fired up. So I'm at the Scrum a week later, fired up. My man is all in on this opportunity, which I'm really, really glad to see.
I'm the best fucking fighter in the welterweight division. I'm the best wrestler. I'm the best boxer. I have the best conditioning. I'm the most explosive. They're fighting specialists. I just so happen to specialize in MMA.
I am very tired as a fight fan of seeing people rewrite the story after Tyron beat somebody. Well, Darren Till wasn't quite ready. Well, they do this to him time and time again, Errol, and it's very important that we give credit to Darren Till so that we can respect what Tyron did.
Kamaru Usman's style is very labor intensive. He has the winningest, like I think in terms of a welterweight's first 7 fights, winning them.
Listen, I fought this fight sitting at about 30%. Everybody knows what I'm capable of. That was 30% right there.
Kamaru Usman is a fantastic wrestler, national champion of Division II, multiple-time All-American.
I'm the most dominant and most well-rounded welterweight on the planet. Nobody can stop me. And that's why they're all afraid to fight me.
For the UFC Welterweight Championship of the World.
There's only been one champion since 2011. I'm glad to be back on my throne.
John, what do you have planned in July?
July? Bro, I got you in July, if that's what it's going to be.
I'm ready when you are, buddy.
Show me an impression.
Hey, yo guys, what's up? We're back this week, and this week it's for UFC 235. And I'm actually starting this video a little later than I do on Mondays, and I want to make sure that get it out to everyone on the East Coast kind of at a reasonable time if they would listen to it today. So I'm just going to jump right into the fights. We're not going to do a breakdown of last week's card, but the first fight of the night was Polyana Viana against Hannah Cifers in this card. And, you know, it's actually an interesting fight. I actually have a bet on this fight, and you know, I'm feeling pretty confident. I don't like the odds, but Viana, you know, she's been all over the news recently. She beat up that mugger. She, like, smashed his face, and she's going to try to parlay that newfound fame with the UFC win here. But she's going to be taking on a tough girl in Hannah Cifers, who's 0-1 in the UFC, but she had a spirited performance against a big-time prospect in Maisie Barber. She was ultimately finished, but Viana, she's a dangerous submission artist. She's not really a good striker. And she'll throw a lot of kicks, leg and body kicks. She'll throw occasional 1-2s. throw a solid left hook. She will throw an overhand right lead, and she's aggressive. She'll close the distance with straight punch combinations. She'll throw hooks in the pocket. She'll throw front kicks to the body, to the head. She doesn't move her own head. She's very hittable. She was continuously hit trying to close the distance with jabs, with straight punches against J.J. Aldridge. And I actually predicted Polyana to lose that fight. She was a big-time favorite. And she has a good chin. She's willing to eat the shots. Viana, she has 4 KO TKOs. But, I believe they were on the ground. I'm not really sure, though. She might have had a couple standing up. She isn't a big threat to get a standing knockout, though, in my opinion. And she does wing shots full power. She doesn't have fear of being taken down. So if she connects, she could hurt someone. But a girl like Cyphers, who has a very good chin, I don't think she's going to be hurting her on the feet with the stand-up. And she's never been finished in her career, so she has a good chin herself. She's very good on the ground. She'll quickly jump on submissions, very tricky with her jiu-jitsu. She's a Mundial's world champion. She's dangerous whenever she gets a hold of you. She'll go for standing guillotines. She'll take the back from standing position in the clinch. She'll also attempt flying arm bars, triangles. She doesn't mind being on her back either. She's very slick with her arm bar setups. She gets her legs up extremely fast. She'll go for triangles as well. She has a nice duck under takedown. She got that against J.J. Aldridge in her last fight. And she quickly tries to jump on the back. And, Aldridge was able to shuck her off, got top position. She was actually able to control her on the ground in her guard and didn't really get threatened very much. And she was actually even able to pass Viana's guard. And she controlled her on the ground for a little bit. And Viana pulled guard in round 3. She wasn't really able to do much off her back. So I feel like she's definitely a top, better on top. She didn't even, attempt a submission against Aldridge when she was on her back. So don't really know if she just got a little bit tired in that third round, or she didn't really know what to do there. But she has finished all 10 of her pro fights. She has six submissions. She's never been submitted herself. She definitely slowed down in that third round and with J.J. Aldridge. And Viana needs to get this fight to the mat, in my opinion. She can't slow down like that against Cyphers, because Cyphers hits very hard. And she will be outgunned in the stand-up. She gasses in that third round. It could get a little bit hairy for her, but Viana, if she can get this fight to the ground, she should attack quickly with submissions. Cyphers has been submitted before by girls like Jillian Robertson, but on the feet, she needs to try to stay long, throw a lot of kicks, straight punches, then just try to, find her moment to duck under and get the fight to the ground, because I don't think she's going to be having, overly a lot of success standing up. But Hannah Cyphers, she's kind of small for 115, but she's very strong. She's a farm girl. And she said she started a new strength and conditioning program for this fight, so she should be even stronger and better shape here. She has nice leg kicks. She throws hard hooks to the body, to the head. Nice round kicks to the body. She'll throw a nasty right hook, straight left hand combination. She definitely hits hard. In close range, she'll wing powerful hooks. She throws in combination. She tries to go forward, push opponents backwards. She is small. She's going to have a 5-inch reach disadvantage here. And at times she can get stuck on the outside. She kind of likes to wait for opponents to close the distance. Then she lets go. And when she does feel an opponent wilting, she will turn on the pressure, go for the finish. I do think that style maybe could get her in a little trouble, letting Polyana get close to her and try to take her down. But I do think that she's going to have a big strength advantage here. She has 5 KO TKOs in her career, but she was finished pretty brutally with elbows on the ground against Macy Barber. And she has been exploited on the ground in other fights as well. Cyphers is deceivingly strong, and despite her size, she usually is the one bullying her opponents. She has good dirty boxing. She'll get the Muay Thai plum. She'll throw hard uppercuts, big hooks to the body, to the head. Against the cage, when she gets double underhooks, she's very strong. She'll land hard punches, knees to the body. She definitely is going to have a strength advantage in this fight, in my opinion. But it will be interesting if she just wants to avoid the clinch altogether. That could be a possibility. The problem with that is due to her short reach. She relies on fighters coming to her. And due to that, she can be clinched up, but, she is very good in the clinch with her dirty boxing. She was hit with some huge elbows in the clinch, busted up against Macy Barber. And when she was taken down, she did show some skill at least. She attacked with the omoplata with the leg lock, but she was eventually overwhelmed with those elbows. She did show great heart. She never gave up. She was moving a lot in positions where I think most girls would have just called it a day. She isn't really a submission threat. She's only been submitted one time by Jillian Robertson, but she needs to keep this fight on the feet, strike, and when Viana tries to get inside, she needs to tag her with big hooks, make her pay for getting in the clinch, throw big shots and disengage. She definitely hits harder than Viana. She's the cleaner striker. And if this fight stays on the feet, she'll most likely win. And I actually think Hannah Cyphers is going to get it done here. I see her being the more physical, physical fighter, the stronger fighter, being able to control the clinch. I feel she can hurt Viana with short hooks inside with the overhands, and I feel she's going to be the one landing the bigger shots. I also feel like she could even get on top of Viana, and I don't think Viana is going to have much success taking down Cifers or muscling her in the clinch. So I just think this is a good matchup for Cifers, and I'm going to say Cifers gets it done via decision here. And like I said, I do have a bet on this fight. I bet 1 unit on Hannah Cifers plus 285, I think, which I think that line is just way off. I feel like Cifers should be like plus 150, maybe plus 130. I mean, I feel like it's a much closer fight, much closer to a pick'em than it is to plus 285. So I like the line that I got there, and the pick's going to be Hannah Cifers via decision in that fight. And up next, we have Marlon Chito Vera. He's back. He's been very entertaining lately. He's finished back-to-back fights. Both he had to dig deep. He was losing early. He's going to be taking on Frankie Saenz, who Saenz has back-to-back wins as well. And the winner of this matchup will most likely get a top 15 opponent next. Saenz is 38 years old. This is definitely a huge fight for him. With his age, a loss would definitely be a massive setback. And for Vera, he's a decent striker. He'll switch stances. He throws a lot of kicks. Throws hard low leg kicks. He has good jab, straight left hand from southpaw. Throws hard round kicks, front kicks to the body from southpaw as well. He also throws side kicks to the body, hard round kicks to the head. He will throw oblique kicks to the knees with both legs. Likes to throw the jab left hook from orthodox. He'll also throw a lot of lead left hooks, uppercuts. He will throw a jab right hook to a body kick combination as well from the orthodox stance. His straight left hand is very accurate. It has a lot of pop. And he started slow in his last 2 fights a little bit, but came in round 2, reinvigorated, and kind of took over. Seems to have like a new killer be killed mindset. He's super aggressive. He had those fights with John Lineker, with Douglas Silva de Andrade, where he kind of allowed them to control the distance, hit him with shots, and he never really took that huge risk to get inside. And I think that now he's starting to walk down opponents heavy, really putting on the volume, welcoming that war. He'll throw a lot of push kicks to try to get his opponents moving backwards, and he'll attack with flying knees when they're near the cage. He's really good at attacking when opponents are near the cage. He finished Wheelie Bourne with a nasty left hook to the body against the cage. He isn't really the most athletic fighter. He relies a lot on his chin, his toughness. He'll walk down opponents with a high guard, but he doesn't move his head much, stands a little tall. He's a little bit hittable. He is very durable, and he will never be broken. And, he has been able to not only survive, but continue to come forward in round 3 against monsters like John Lineker. And he has 4 TKOs in his career. He's never been finished. He's a strong grappler. He's very dangerous. He likes to get the tie clinch, land hard knees to the head. He also will throw hard hooks to the body, to the head from the single collar. He's good at disengaging the clinch with combinations, especially against the cage. That's how he finished Burin. He landed a brutal combination of knees to the head against the cage on Guido Canetti in his last fight that dropped him, then kept the pressure on and ultimately finished him. He's awesome at throwing combinations against the cage with bad intentions and then, transitioning into the grappling. He hurt Canetti bad against the cage and attacked with a guillotine, which was unsuccessful, but he was able to get into mount, then just control him from there. Eventually, he got the rear naked choke. And, Vera doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, but he's very tricky off his back. He's got an armbar against Brian Kelleher. He will attack with nice elbows. He has good get-ups also. He's improving. He's gaining confidence every time out. Has 7 submission victories, and his last 4 wins are via finish. He has great cardio. He gets better as the fight goes on, and I think Vera needs to push the pace, walk Saenz down, try to back him towards the cage. Needs to use those front kicks, those straight punches to get Saenz moving backwards. Then just try to unload with combos, try to get in the clinch, disengage, unload. And if he rocks Saenz, he's a finisher, and he may not let Saenz off the hook like other opponents have in the past. And Frankie Saenz, he's a grinder. He's actually rounded out of striking. He's pretty solid. He has good footwork, lateral movement, decent jab. He throws some strong low leg kicks out there. Does a good job landing a straight and overhand right. He'll also throw an overhand right left hook combination. He has accurate straight right hands. He does a good job of pull countering with that right hand. He can't set it up the same way and become a little bit predictable. Fighters are able to catch him clean with his hands down and chin up trying to counter. He got rocked that way versus Augusto Mendez. He will throw nice left hooks to the body and left hooks to the head. He'll throw that in combination. He'll also throw a straight right hand to the body. He has good right uppercut, left hook combos. He is a little bit chinny. He doesn't take shots well. He was finished by Eddie Wineland. He gets wobbled a lot in fights. He does a good job of surviving and recovering quickly. He's definitely been a decision fighter over his career. He's never had a finished victory in the UFC. He has 3 KOs on his record, and he has been finished twice by strikes. He's definitely a little bit chinny. And Sainz is a solid grappler. He's a former college wrestler. He's strong in the clinch. He has good control against the fence. He'll throw hard knees to the legs, to the body. He has big elbows. He dropped Augusto Mendez with a big clinch elbow. He does a good job landing knees to the body, disengaging. He'll also get the Muay Thai plum clinch, land aggressive knees. He has strong takedown defense. He'll create very fast scrambles. If you do take him down, he's very hard to hold down. He'll throw unset up leg kicks at times though, and he can get taken down due to that. But he has solid double leg shots. He will attack with single legs as well. He likes to duck under, get double underhooks, pull opponents over. And on top, he's more of a control over damage fighter. He won't really attempt many submissions. He landed some pretty big elbows once he got Henry Briones down in his last fight though. He has 2 career submissions. He's never been submitted. Very good cardio, and he can go all 3 rounds. I expect Frankie Sainz to try to keep this fight standing, be the more tactical striker. See him trying to use his movement, walk Vera into shots. I think his low kick could be effective along with his straight and overhand right. If he can out-volume Vera and not get clipped with a big shot, he could take a decision here striking. I think Frankie Sainz will have success in this match. See him getting off to a good start like a lot of Vera's opponents, landing some nice left hook, right overhand combinations, landing some nice leg kicks, just keeping the volume on Vera. But I see Vera catching Sainz with a big shot, changing the tide of the fight. And when he hurts Sainz, I see him being more aggressive and capitalizing than previous opponents like Eddie Wineland. And, I see him getting him out of there. So I'm going to say Sainz likes to go for the clinch or takedowns after he gets hurt. I see him doing that, and I see Vera locking up a submission or landing some big shots and finishing the fight. So I'm going to say Vera lands a big shot, gets Sainz to panic grapple, and then locks in a guillotine choke and wins via second-round submission. So I'm going to go with Marlon Chito Vera, keep the streak going, and get another big-time victory in the UFC here. And up next, we have Gina Mazani against Maisie Chiasson. And, Maisie, she's making her first ever drop to 135 pounds. She won tough at featherweight. She has 5 professional fights, including tough, all at 45. And she fought almost exclusively at 155 as an amateur. And she will be a very big bantamweight. I mean, they were talking about on the show that she walks around at 170 pounds. She's a true featherweight and all that. So it's going to be interesting if she can make the weight. But she's going to be facing Gina Mazani, who's going to be looking to bounce back after a loss to Landsberger last time out. And, just try to probably keep her job, because I think this is a fight where if Gina loses, she could potentially be cut. But, Chiasson, she's coming in with a lot of momentum after winning tough. And, she'll be very big if she can make the weight. She's very long. She has good hand speed. She'll throw a nice one, too. She definitely has pop on her shot. She'll throw a double jab, overhand right. She has hard body kicks, nice head kicks. She'll throw long lead left hooks. She will throw spinning heel kicks as well. She's still kind of green, but she's athletic. She's powerful. She dropped Penny Kinsey with the lead elbow, left-right hook combination. She will throw front kicks to the body. She is kind of a plotter. She does take shots coming forward. She doesn't move her head. She's rather easy to hit. She's definitely more comfortable fighting in a clinch and on the ground. With her making the drop to 135 pounds, it will be interesting to see if she still has that speed to get inside and, the ability to take punches. But she has good power. She has 2 KO TKOs in her pro career. She's never been finished by strikes as a pro, but she was finished once as an amateur by strikes. She is a strong grappler. She's very dangerous in the clinch. She has nasty knees to the body, to the head from the Thai plum. Big power in those shots. She finished Leah Letson with big knees to the body from the Thai clinch. She has nice elbows to the head. Her height and reach give her a very good control in that position. She's able to kind of dominate opponents in the clinch. She'll duck under, look for double legs. On top, she likes to take the back, get rear naked chokes. She's able to take the back off sprawls. And when she defends takedown attempts, she's always usually able to get on top. When she takes the back, she's very long. She has great control. She can slip the arm under the chin quickly. She finished Penny Kinsey with a rear naked choke in her last match to win tough. She has good takedown defense, good get up. She'll get butterfly hooks, and she does a good job transitioning to double legs as she gets up. She has finished 3 of her last 4 fights and 4 or 5 overall. She has 2 submissions. She's never been submitted. And, I expect her to come out here, try to keep this fight standing a little bit, get in the clinch, and just beat Gina Mazani up. I think that Mazani is very sloppy in the clinch. She has a lot of, things that she does that I think kind of aren't effective, and they just take up her gas tank. And I feel like Chiasson will be able to attack in the clinch with big shots and, maybe even hurt Mazani there. But Mazani, she's a grinder. I feel she could be the cleaner striker from the outside. She has a nice straight right hand, a good left hook. She likes to throw a right hook, left straight combination. She will throw the occasional leg and body kick. She also is kind of uncomfortable striking like Chiasson at distance. She doesn't really pull forward like Chiasson. She uses more feint. She'll throw Superman punches in the clinch. But she doesn't have the power or the athleticism of Maisie. She isn't nearly as dangerous. I feel on the feet, Mazani may be able to land some shots, but I don't see her stopping the forward pressure of Maisie. And, she has 2 career KO TKOs. She's never been finished by strikes. She likes to fight in the clinch, especially in close range. She likes to get the single collar position. She'll throw nice elbows, punches to the head, to the body. She'll control opponents against the cage. She'll throw short knees to the body, to the legs. She does have decent double leg entries against the cage, and she has okay body locks, but I do think that sometimes that she doesn't really have good technique on her trips and kind of wastes cardio. But I see her trying to get into top position rather than hang around, a lot in the clinch in this fight. She did fight another clinch fighter in the last fight. She was controlled for long periods of time against the cage. She also was able to get a couple takedowns of her own. She doesn't really have incredible top control. I don't think she's going to be able to hold down Maisie, but she tends to gas out as the fight goes on as well. She isn't a big submission threat. She only has 1 career submission. She was submitted very quickly by Sarah McMahon. I think that Mazani should try to strike from the outside a bit, try to catch Maisie coming in with shots and get her on her back. I don't think it's wise for her to hang around in the clinch in this fight. If Mazani is able to use her strikes to get takedowns, she has a chance to win. I think Maisie will get the job done. She should be able to get in the clinch as Gina tires out, really beat her up. I see the first round being fairly competitive. The second round, I see Maisie starting to take over a bit, really taking over at the end of the second round. Then I see in the third round, I think she's going to be able to get the finish, get a rear naked choke. So I'm going to say Maisie wins via third round, rear naked choke in that fight. Then up next, we have another fight that I have a bet on here with Edmund Shabazyan against Charles Byrd. And this matchmaking is a bit odd. Both fighters are coming off a fight with Darren Stewart, but with different results. Charles Byrd was knocked out by Darren Stewart. Edmund Shabazyan defeated him via decision. It's kind of odd that they would give Shabazyan Byrd, who just lost to Stewart since he just beat him, but it's an interesting fight nonetheless. And Charles Byrd, he's a good fighter. He's well-rounded. He has a nice jab. He has clean 1-2s. Nice overhand right. He'll throw a left straight overhand right combination. Nice lead left hook. He has huge legs. He's very explosive. Hard low leg kicks. He also throws nice body and head kicks. He's fast. He's pretty technical. He has 3 KO TKOs in his career. He has shown good durability over his career, but he was finished for the first time in his career in his last match against Darren Stewart with a big elbow. He's a very strong grappler. He has very good timing on his single leg entries. He'll dump an opponent if he has an angle or drive him to the cage, take him down from there. He has strong body lock takedowns. He is good in the clinch. He has good elbows over the top, knees to the legs, to the body. He will disengage and attack with hook and uppercut combinations. He can get a little bit complacent in the clinch. He was hit with some big elbows against Darren Stewart, eventually finished because of that. On top, he's super heavy, though. He has awesome chokes. He'll attack with the guillotine to get right into the mount. He has a great arm triangle. He will take the mount, force opponents to give the back, lock in the rear naked choke. His squeeze is incredible. He gets around your neck. The fight is most likely over. He was beating Stewart fairly easily before he got caught. So maybe he, just needs to improve just a little bit in terms of just keeping, his thinking cap on the whole fight, not really giving someone something to capitalize in a small moment. But he's 35 years old. This is a much bigger fight for him than for Shabazyan, in my opinion, in terms of career trajectory. Byrd has 5 submissions, including his last 3 wins. He has been submitted twice in his career. He seems to have solid cardio. I think Charles Byrd should look to keep this fight standing. Stay technical, landing straight punches, overhands. Move, keep Shabazyan on the outside early. And then later on in the rounds, I think if Shabazyan tires, Byrd should try to take him down, exploit him on the ground. But for Edmund Shabazyan, he's a great prospect. He's only 21 years old, and with the win here, he'll be on the fringe in the top 15. He's one of those new breed fighters who've been training MMA their entire lives. There's footage of him training at Glendale Fighting Systems at like 10 years old. He hasn't been a pro since February 2017. He's already 8-0. He has 7 finishes. And, he's very good with his hand speed. He has crisp boxing. He has a great jab. He has heavy hooks and uppercuts. Good double jab left hook. He'll throw nice body kicks. And will throw big head kicks as well. He's very aggressive. He'll try to overwhelm opponents early. He did get very tired in his last fight. He was teed off a bit, got teed off on a little bit against the cage. He showed a great chin. He absorbed, a lot of shots. He even absorbed that same elbow that ended Bird's night. He was able to take it. He showed composure. Eventually, he got a hold of Stewart. He slowed down the pace, took him down. And it was his 8th ever fight, his first fight out of the first round. So that's a valuable experience. He will only improve from that. He has 7 career KO TKOs and 8 wins. He's strong. He's a very good grappler. He's very good entries on his double legs, good takedowns. Very strong, good at driving through and finishing. He's excellent at setting his shots up with strikes. He was able to take Darren Stewart down many times. Stewart was able to get up from under him, but he did an excellent job hanging on him, attacking the back, just tiring him out, mat returning him. When he does take the back, he's heavy, he has good control. He did get taken down by Stewart when he was exhausted in the 3rd round. He was bombed on a bit with some huge ground and pound. He did roll for a leg lock to create a scramble. He never stopped moving, never gave up. He showed some tenacity, a will to win in that round. And I think that he's a tougher guy than Charles Byrd. I do think if you put Charles Byrd in bad situations, he has shown the tendency to fold in there. But, Shabazyan's the opposite. He showed tenacity, he showed a lot of heart. He was able to get late takedowns with pure heart when exhausted and hurt in the 3rd round to win the fight. Definitely needs to address his cardio, but I feel going 3 hard rounds will give him confidence in this fight to go the distance. I think Shabazyan should use wrestling here. He needs to use his punches to get inside, put Byrd on his back. He's going to have a size advantage. He's going to have more heart, like I said, in my opinion. And Byrd has shown over his career that if he doesn't get a finish early, he could fold. So Shabazyan pushes him, puts him in a bad position after that 1st round. He could get a finish here. And I see Shabazyan being able to get his takedown. I feel he's going to push Byrd, make him quit. Byrd doesn't like getting bullied. I see Shabazyan get him on his back early, working him against the cage with shots. And I think he's going to finish Byrd via TKO in round 2. Like I said, I have a play here on Edmund Shabazyan, so I like the line here, and I think that he's going to get it done. So I'm going to go with Edmund Shabazyan via 2nd round finish in this fight. And up next, we have another fight that I have a play on here with Diego Sanchez against Mickey Gall. And Mickey Gall called a shot again. He asked for Diego Sanchez. He got him. And he's coming off a pretty impressive 1st round finish of George Sullivan. And Diego Sanchez coming off a victory over Craig White. But Sanchez's damage meter is still very high. Seems to take shots a little better at 170, but his chin's basically gone. And Mickey Gall, he's still very much developing as a striker, so it's not a terrible matchup for Diego. Gall's really shown barely any stand-up in the UFC. He has shown some power in his right hand. He dropped Mike Jackson with the right hook, dropped Sage Northcutt with the overhand right. He will try to throw his jab out there, but it lacks the snap, and opponents can easily counter him off of it. He will throw the occasional body and head kick. He looked a bit more fluid with his movement in his last fight. I mean, the fight was on the feet very little, but he threw one high kick before getting the takedown, finished the fight. He hasn't really gauged distance very well in previous fights. He'll get tagged with shots. He also doesn't know how to strike moving backwards. Opponents can land longer combinations against him. He seems to get uncomfortable when he gets back to the fence. He'll turn his back and almost run away. He does have a good chin. He has a good attitude. He doesn't mind getting hit. He'll brush it off when he eats big shots. Very confident. He has that bravado in the cage. He doesn't really have any KO TKOs in his career, and he's never been finished himself. He has good jiu-jitsu. He's pretty dangerous on the mat. Got a quick double leg against CM Punk. He took the back out of rear naked choke. People would say, oh, that's CM Punk. He finished a UFC veteran in similar fashion. He landed that nice single leg against George Sullivan. Took his back out the rear naked choke. Gall will try to shoot a single leg into a leg lock, sweep to top position. He can end up on his back this way. He will attack in his guard, but he was battered with elbows against Randy Brown. He will attack with guillotines, triangles, arm bars. He'll also roll for leg locks. He has decent sweeps with his leg locks along with half guard sweeps. He was way too comfortable in his guard against Randy Brown. He never really attempted to stand up. His takedown defense is bad. I do feel Sanchez is going to have a path to take him down. In his 4 wins, he has 4 submission victories. They're all rear naked chokes. It will be interesting to see if Gall could take down an accomplished wrestler like Sanchez, or if he wants to try to keep it on the feet and knock him out. But Diego Sanchez had a career-saving victory in his last match. He had 2 brutal knockout losses. A lot of people were calling for him to retire, but he was able to grind out a victory over Craig White. He had a significant step down in competition, and this is maybe a little bit of a step up, but it's still a much lesser fighter than Sanchez is used to fighting. And, Sanchez does well against grapplers. This is a good matchup for him. His striking has never been really impressive, but he's relentless. He'll throw hard overhand rights, right hooks. He'll throw a left straight to an overhand right or right uppercut combination. He'll throw wide lead left hooks. He can really overextend with his punches at times. He'll throw hard leg and body kicks. He's still aggressive. He takes the center immediately. When he gets hurt, he still has that dog in him, though. He wants to bite down, try to get it back. But he did a better job of his last fight of going to the wrestling after he got clipped instead of trying to throw punches. His chin is gone, and when fighters do, hit him, they put him out cold. Guys like Joe Lozon, who don't really are known for power. I feel he's more technical than Gall, but Gall could definitely take him out. If I were Diego, I would have the same game plan as my last match, use a strike solely to get inside, get the takedowns. Sanchez has never been known as a power guy, but he has 8 KO TKOs, none since 2008. He's one of the most durable fighters in UFC history, but the wars have caught up to him. He's been KO TKO'd in his last 3 losses, 4 times overall. Definitely is chinny at this point. The last 2 times he was finished were especially brutal, and his ability to take a shot is basically gone. He's barely hit against Craig White, but the times he was hit, it got a little bit sketchy there. And he's a grinder. He's a relentless wrestler. He returned to that style in his last match. The Nightmare was able to take White down at will, control him, beat him up on the ground with some big ground and pound. He will run across the cage, attack for that takedown right away. He has a good single leg entry. He's very strong. Can pick opponents up, dump them on their head. He has good double leg entries as well. He likes to get the takedowns against the fence. On top, he has great control. He's strong ground and pound. He's super active. He's relentless with volume. He has phenomenal cardio. He puts on a storm that a lot of opponents just can't handle. They'll give up or they'll get tired. His last 2 wins have come against submission grapplers where he just grinded them out. And Sanchez has never been submitted in his illustrious career. He has 9 career submissions, but 0 in the UFC. He's not really a threat to do that. He has amazing heart and will. He's willing to die in there. And I think Sanchez should try to maul Mickey Gall here. He should try to close the distance, get him against the cage, take him down, beat him up. I do think he could take Gall down. As long as he doesn't get caught, it's a clear path to victory. And due to that, I'm going to go with Diego Sanchez here, man. I'm picking Diego Sanchez to get back-to-back victories. I bet on him against Craig White. I bet on him again here against Mickey Gall. And we'll see what happens, man. I mean, I don't think that he should be that big of an underdog. I think I got him at plus 280. And I think that he's going to be able to use his game plan, use those takedowns, take Mickey Gall down, and just control him on top, man. I mean, if Mickey Gall knocks him out with the strike, I mean, that would be kind of sad to see, but it's something that could happen. But I don't think Mickey Gall could strike moving backwards. I don't think that you can make Diego pay for getting on the legs, getting takedowns, and I don't think that he's going to submit him off his back. So I'm going to pick Diego Sanchez to get a win here via decision and get another big-time win in 2019. Up next, you have Alejandro Turbo Perez. He's fighting against Cody Stamann. And, this is a great matchup. It's kind of a striker-grappler matchup. It pits 2 young upstarts against each other. Alejandro Perez, he's unbeaten in his last 7 UFC fights. He's won 4 in a row. Cody Stamann, he's coming off the first loss he's had in a long time. He had a 10-fight winning streak snapped by Aljamain Sterling in pretty brutal fashion. He was caught in a nasty knee bar. Sterling said he felt Stamann's knee pop, and I haven't been able to find any information as to what actually happened to his knee, if it forced him to have surgery, missed training, but he's fighting 6 months after the fight, so I'm going to assume it's nothing major. I also listened to his James Lynch interview, and, he was saying that he's been looking to get a fight for a while, so I'm assuming that it wasn't anything that really hurt him or took him out off the shelf too long. But, Stamann, he's not a bad striker, but he definitely is going to want to get this fight to the ground. He has a decent jab. He has a strong straight right hand. He has a good lead left hook. He'll throw oblique kicks to the legs and front kicks to the body. He has good front and side kicks to the body. He'll throw inside leg kick, body jab, straight right hand combinations. He'll throw a left hook to the body to a left hook to the head. He has good high kicks. He'll throw straight right hands to high kicks or jabs to high kicks. Does a good job investing in the body with punches, which helps us disguise his level changes later on. He does a good job grabbing the tie plum, landing knees to the head. Also, he does a good job slipping and returning with shots, then slipping and ducking under for takedowns. He's super explosive. He sets his takedowns up well with the shots, and he can hold his hands low at times. He can be hit with jabs or straight punches. He needs to have his hands high at all times in this fight against Perez. He isn't a big power striker, but he has 6 career KO TKOs. He has a good chin. He's not afraid of being hit. He's never been finished by strikes. He's an awesome wrestler. He's very explosive. He shuts his shots up well with strikes. And he'll throw a double jab into a double leg takedown. Does a great job staying in the pocket, landing a couple shots, and slipping, ducking under, getting a double leg. He has very good top control. He does a good job getting into side control, posturing up, landing big shots. Does a good job staying connected when opponents try to stand back up when they get their back, Matt returning them quickly. He likes to get in that 3/4 mount, land hard hammer fists, big punches. He's smart with his positioning. He doesn't really go into places where he can get bucked off very much. He'll try to take the back and flatten opponents out. He isn't a big submission threat. He just has 2 in his career. He has been submitted 1 time in his last fight. He has great cardio. He doesn't slow down like Perez's last opponent, Matthew Lopez. And Stamann is going to need to get this fight to the ground, make it a grimy, dirty fight. He needs to throw with power to get inside, set his takedowns up with strikes. Perez, he's going to be hard to hold down, so I assume Stamann will have to land multiple takedowns to earn the win. I feel like Stamann can get a couple takedowns. He will become more successful with the striking as well. And for Alejandro Perez, he has very good striking. He's light on his feet. He's very quick and tight with his boxing. He has a nasty low leg kicks, very sharp jab. He'll throw a jab to the head, to the body. He'll throw hard hooks in the pocket. He'll throw nice 1-2s down the pipe. Very good straight right hand. He has a nice overhand right, nasty step-in knees. He has a nice lead left hook and strong body kicks. He hits hard. He's very fast, very good hand speed. He's definitely going to have a hand speed advantage here. He's definitely more of a counter striker. He likes to wait for opponents to close the distance and then, counter with shots. He likes to lull opponents to sleep, then forces them to fight at his pace because, he slows down the fight, and when they close the distance, he hits them clean with shots. It gets them to not want to come back in, and then he wins a very boring decision that way because he's just very sharp. He can throw a lot of wide hooks. He has big power. He has 10 career KO TKOs. He's only been finished 1 time by KO TKO in his career, but he gets dropped quite a few times. He has a questionable chin. When fighters get inside on him, especially that can wrestle, he tends to let them get some clean shots off on him because he's thinking too much about the takedowns. Matthew Lopez was able to hurt him a little bit with some shots. And I do feel like the fact that he lets guys get inside on him at times could be a problem here against Stamann. But he's a well-rounded fighter. He'll go for takedowns himself from time to time. I kind of find it highly unlikely he'll try to take down Stamann. But he has good reactive double legs. He trains at AKA, a great wrestling gym. Really improved his takedown defense. He has a fast brawl, heavy hips. He does a good job landing knees to the body, disengaging from the clinch. He will chuck fighters away with double underhooks as well. He can be taken down when opponents can chain takedowns together at times, but he has great get-ups. Does a good job using the cage to stand up. He's very good at creating scrambles, exploding back to his feet. He does a good job circling to the back when opponents try to take him down against the cage. He does tend to give his back. Matthew Lopez was able to get it more than once in the first round, threatened with a rear naked choke, but does a good job staying calm, defending the choke, turning into opponent's guard eventually. He has good cardio. He can go for all 3 rounds easily, but this is a bit of a step up for Perez. With the win here, it would prove he's a serious contender in the division. Perez has 5 submissions. He's been submitted 3 times. And for Perez, he's going to need to use the same game plan he always does when he gets taken down, get up quickly. He needs to throw low leg kicks, jabs, straight right hands. He needs to use that lateral movement. Stay away from the cage. Use his reach. Keep Stamann on the outside. When Stamann gets inside, he needs to make him pay with big combinations. If he can do that, it could make Stamann hesitant to close the distance. Perez needs to avoid being on his back as much as possible. Try to stand up quickly when he's taken down. The more this fight is contested on the feet, the better for Perez. I'm actually going to go with Cody Stamann here. It's a close match, but I feel Stamann's going to be the one constantly moving forward, controlling the center of their cage, being explosive, willing to take a shot to get inside. And he's never been finished by strikes. I see him being able to take the shots of Perez, get inside, get a few early takedowns. Even if he can't keep controlling him, I think he's going to keep continuously taking him down, putting him on his back. I think eventually he's going to take the back a couple times. I think that he'll be able to open up with the striking more, land a few shots on him after he gets a couple takedowns. And I think he's going to keep Perez moving backwards during this fight. And I think he's just going to put up a little more offense and be able to do a little more than other opponents have had on Perez in the past. And I see Stamann winning via decision in this fight. And up next, we have another fight that I have a play on here with Misha Cirkunov against Johnny Walker. And this is a wild fight, man. It was originally Cirkunov. He was set to face OSP, but Johnny Walker stepping in on short notice. It's kind of a similar matchup, I guess, but Walker's even bigger. He's more athletic. And Walker has had 2 UFC fights, but both lasted under 2 minutes. He's really captivating fans. He's incredibly charismatic. He is a dynamic knockout artist. He looked phenomenal in his last fight. So did Misha Cirkunov. He finished Pat Cummings. He's moved his training to Extreme Couture. He's really showed his peak performance. This is going to be a fun fight. And Johnny Walker, he's super dynamic. He's extremely athletic. He's clearly improving rapidly. His movement and distance control is night and day from what it was a couple years ago. Very long karate stance. He's light on his feet. He's an 82-inch reach. He's going to utilize it very well. Throws a lot of fakes. Throws a lot of feints. He's always giving his opponents different looks. He has very good head movement. He's ready to counter immediately. He has a very nice straight and overhand right. He'll throw a lot of oblique kicks to the knees, front kicks to the body. He'll throw nice head kicks, followed with quick straight left hands, right hooks. His head kicks are very fast. He's unusually athletic for someone his size. Very creative. He will throw axe kicks to the head, jump knees into Superman punches, spinning back fist. When he finds his range, he'll throw in combination. He can throw kicks without setting them up at times. And he can be countered hard with straight punches. He can also stand a bit tall at times, and opponents can get inside on him. But that was much improved against Khalil Roundtree. And then he backed that up with the finish in 15 seconds with a hook kick to a spinning back fist combination against Justin Ledet. We didn't really learn anything from that fight, but it kind of reaffirmed that this dude's dangerous. He has big power. He's very explosive with 13 KO TKOs. He's been finished with strikes twice. He's actually not a bad grappler. He's extremely dangerous in the clinch. His frame allows him to get the Muay Thai plum much easier. He'll throw nasty knees, elbows from the clinch. He'll throw a combination, then grab the Muay Thai plum, throw a jump knee. He'll try to get the single collar position, trap the wrist, then come over the top with big elbows. He has good takedown defense, so he'll use a heavy sprawl. He'll circle to the back. He will try to hit a switch when opponents take him down as well. He'll attack with front chokes to defend takedowns. He'll use the choke to move directly into mount. He will throw hard elbows to the head when opponents get on him against the cage as well. He does get taken down. He has pretty dexterous legs. He can use him to sweep. On top, Walker's good. He can distribute his weight well. He can flow, keep top position. He'll slowly work to mount in the back. He doesn't really have great submission technique, but he will attack with the chokes. When he hurts fighters, he will rain down brutal ground and pound. He does get a little tired as the fight goes on, and I do feel that if Serkinov can extend him, then get him down late, he may be able to finish him. But Walker would never give up. I've seen him in positions on the ground where he's been getting beat up really badly. He has incredible heart. He was dropped multiple times by Wagner Prado. And on the ground, he was still moving, trying to survive. He even got dropped, immediately went on a single leg, and he was using head movement from, one side of his leg to the other side to try to survive. He isn't a big submission threat. He has just 2 submissions in his career. He was submitted 1 time, and he's extremely confident right now. He's in his element. I think Michael Bisping said it best. In his fight with Justin Ledet, it looked like he was on a Sunday stroll. He's super calm. He loves to fight. He's going to want to keep this fight on the feet. Walker should throw a lot of front kicks to the body, straight punches, move in and out, get Misha desperate to close the distance. If he does close the distance, try to get in on the tie clinch, land shots, get back to range. And Walker needs to go forward in this fight. Going backwards is what Serkinov wants. Serkinov hasn't shown the greatest ability to take shots. I don't like the way he reacts. Walker can land clean or rock him. Serkinov could find a way out. And for Misha Serkinov, he's once again training at Extreme Couture for this camp. Going to be looking to build on that performance with Pat Cummings. It is relevant that Serkinov has been going through a pretty traumatic situation in his personal life. His wife was diagnosed with cancer, so best wishes go out to her on her recovery. And, it has to be noted because you have to imagine that it's a very hard thing to go through while getting ready for a fight. Could impact his performance maybe positively or negatively. But he's a big physical grappler. He has a good grappling base. He's a southpaw striker. He likes to throw out a jab, 1-2. He'll throw the straight left hand as well as a lead left hook. He'll throw a jab, right hook, left uppercut combination. He has good hand speed and close range. He'll throw a lot of kicks early, oblique kicks, inside leg kicks, front kicks to the body. He has good liver kicks. He's a southpaw. He will go high with the rear leg head kick. Does a good job faking double underhooks, throwing right hooks. He is a bit of a plotter. He likes to fight on the inside. I think he's going to struggle with the speed and the in and out movement of Walker on the feet. I don't see him being able to find his range or landing many shots, especially early on. I feel Serkinov on the feet should be low volume, time good straight shots off overhand counters on the feet off kicks. I don't think he should try to open up very much because I think Walker could counter him and hurt him. He does have solid timing on his punches. It's possible he could land flush, but he is a bit of a plotter. He ducks his head a lot in exchanges. I feel that Walker could set up a knee here or an uppercut. Serkinov has been finished twice in his career, and 2 of his last 3 fights he's been finished by strikes. Serkinov is very strong when he gets his hands on opponents. He's a great grappler. He likes to get his takedowns in the clinch or against the cage. That's something that is a bit of a problem in this fight because he's going to have to go in the danger zone against Walker. When he gets in the clinch, he likes to dig double underhooks, dump opponents, or push him to the cage. He has good control against the cage with knees to the legs, to the body. He also does a decent job of throwing punch combinations off the break. He has good double and single leg takedowns against the cage. He's very good on top. He works quickly. He's immediately looking for submissions. He'll try to turk the legs, move directly into mount. He has good arm triangle. He can get over aggressive though on top, and fighters can scramble back to their feet. Nikita Krylov was able to stand up from bottom on him a few times. Serkinov can be taken down himself, but he has good sweeps. He will attack with guillotines. He was able to drop Nikita Krylov, jump on a guillotine. He's coming off an arm triangle submission victory. He has 8 career submissions. Serkinov has 4 finishes in the UFC. And there has been a finish in all 7 of his UFC fights. Serkinov should try to be low output, not put himself in danger, walk Walker down with the high guard, throw well-timed punches. If he can get in, close the distance, he needs to duck under immediately, get in the clinch, try to get Walker to the mat. The more Serkinov is connected to Walker and hanging on him, the better for him. And I do think that if he could take him down, he could potentially submit him. And I don't really think that Walker has what it takes to stand up to his feet. But I think this is a bad matchup for Misha Serkinov. I think he's going to be forced to go backwards just due to the sheer speed, athleticism of Walker. And I think Walker's going to be able to control the distance with strikes. I think Misha's going to struggle to find a way inside. I see Walker even possibly getting a flying knee knockout. I think Walker's going to get another first-round knockout here. If this fight gets out of round 1, I think it'll get a little more interesting. I do feel Walker could, get up off bottom maybe once or twice when he's fresh, but if he's tired, maybe not. But, I don't think it's going to go to that. I think that Walker's going to be able to keep him on the outside, eventually land some big shots and hurt Misha and take him out. So I'm going to go with Johnny Walker to get a 3rd first-round finish in a row to start his UFC career. And I do have a play on Johnny Walker as well in this fight. And up next here, we have the return of Jeremy Stephens and Zabit. Jeremy Stephens, he was having one of the best runs of his career before he met up with Jose Aldo. And for Zabit Magomedsharipov, he's one of the biggest prospects I can remember in MMA history, man. I mean, he's really, really been highly touted. He's 4-0 in the UFC now, and he's finally getting that step up in competition to a named guy. And Jeremy Stephens, he's been that guy that he's never been able to beat the top guys. He has some nice, I don't want to say that. He has some nice wins. He's beaten guys like Josh Emmett, Duho Choi, Melendez, and Old Barao, Dennis Bermudez. Definitely at 45, he's been able to step up to the plate, win some more big-time fights. But when he fights these big names, the Jose Aldos, the Frankie Edgars, the Max Holloways, the Charles Oliveira's, the Cub Swansons, the Donald Cerrone's, the Anthony Pettis's, the Joe Lozons, the Glacius Tapals. I mean, the list goes on. He just hasn't been able to get over on those guys when he's gotten that chance, But he's a dangerous man. I mean, he's someone that has some of the best ground and pound in the UFC. He can knock your head off with one shot. And he has a very, very, very strong mindset. And I feel like he's definitely going to be able, we saw, what's his name? Kyle Bochniak was able to eat some of the shots of Zabit, continue to walk him forward, smiled, trying to get back shots. And if maybe Zabit doesn't have that power to keep Jeremy Stephens off of him, and Jeremy Stephens could continuously walk in, throw bombs, just make it a war, force Zabit into exchanges, that's where he's going to be dangerous because he could potentially catch him there. But in my opinion, for this fight, obviously against Kyle Bochniak, Zabit was doing a lot of crazy striking. He was showing off a little bit. He was dominating Bochniak with speed, with long-range shots, with kicks. And I feel like he can keep Jeremy Stephens a little off balance with kicks, keep him on the outside. But I think that the main priority for Zabit in this fight is going to be grappling, getting in that clinch, getting those body locks. His length is just a problem for guys, man. Being 6'1" at 145, when he gets that body lock, the trip is just so there. It's so readily available for him. And once he gets on top, he's just very good. He has great control, very good at looking for submissions. And I just feel like he's going to have a good game plan here. I think that Stephens is going to come in very motivated. I think that Stephens is going to come in, coming forward, coming hard, trying to take Zabit's head off, walking him down. And I think Zabit's going to be able to land some shots, some kicks, some long punches. and then wait for Stevens really to sit down on one of those big shots, duck under, take him down. And I think that's going to be the story of the fight. I think it's going to be kind of rinse repeat. Stevens coming hard, trying to get a finish, trying to walk down Zabit. Zabit landed some kicks, landed some flashy techniques, and Stevens eventually kind of biting down his mouthpiece, trying to swing hard. Zabit ducking under, getting that double leg body lock takedowns, and just rinse and repeat, continuously doing that. But I do think that if in the third round, if Zabit, can't get down Jeremy Stevens or can't hold him down, and Stevens is still coming forward, still bombing, and he gets a little tired like he did against Bosniak, I mean, who knows what could happen? Stevens could be getting a big-time upset. But in my opinion, I think that Zabit is the very rightful favorite. I think there's more avenues to win. I think that he's going to be able to take Stevens down when he wants to. He's going to have some control on the ground. He's going to be able to land some long-range strikes and, win a fairly comprehensive decision here. I don't think that he's going to finish Jeremy Stevens. It's hard to finish a guy like Jeremy Stevens because you have to respect him and you kind of have to fight with the game plan. And I think that's what Zabit's going to do here. I think he's going to be able to get the win. So I'm going to go with Zabit Magomedsharipov to win that fight via unanimous decision. And up next, we have Cody Garbrandt. He's going to be looking to bounce back after back-to-back devastating losses to his rival TJ Dillashaw. He was TKO'd in the first fight, then knocked out in the second fight. And, a chin can only take so much, so that has to be monitored. He will be taking on the surging Pedro Munoz, who's had back-to-back great performances. Munoz has been a long-time UFC veteran. He's fought the who's who. He's getting a marquee opportunity here. For years, there's been 3 names that have ruled the bantamweight division. They've all fought each other for the belt. They've kind of kept the belt to themselves. Dominic Cruz, Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt. And they've been the only ones that fought for the belt since 2016. And during that time, an impressive crop of contenders, that build up from under them. Aljamain Sterling, Marlon Moraes, John Lineker, Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Ricky Simone, just to name a few. And a lot of those fighters have been pining to fight one of those guys. And Pedro Munoz is the one. He's finally getting the chance to break the logjam. But a win here for Munoz would be massive. It would most likely get him to only fight top 5 guys for the rest of his career. A loss here for Cody Garbrandt would be terrible. Maybe signal the end of Cody as a world-class fighter. So this is a massive fight for both fighters, a great matchup. Pedro Munoz, he's a forward pressure striker, comes forward, he comes to brawl with amazing jiu-jitsu. He's coming off a first-round TKO. Brian Caraway has a lot of confidence. He'll start off most fights throwing a lot of kicks, hard low kicks, front round kicks to the body. He's always coming forward, walking opponents down, applying pressure. He has a good jab, powerful left hook. He'll throw a rounder front kick to the body to a straight right-hand combination. He'll throw the occasional high kick. His forward pressure drains fighters, forces them into mistakes. He'll sit down, throw hook and uppercut combinations, full power in the pocket, no problem brawling. He has good lead overhand rights, and he will throw overhand right left hook combination. He tends to hurt a lot of opponents before submitting them. He's coming off of back-to-back fights where striking has been dominant. He beat Brett John's pillar to post for 3 rounds and finished Brian Caraway in the first round. And his front kicks to the body, hurt both opponents. He's on fire with that strike lately. He does have deficiencies. And this is a tough matchup for Munoz. He's very hittable. He doesn't move his head. He's slow for the division. He's a bit of a plotter. He's struggled versus quick strikers such as John Dodson, Vera, Rafa Sunsao. And we've seen Cody Garbrandt cut angles beautifully, style on a guy like Dominic Cruz. And Munoz needs to force Cody to exchange to be successful on the feet. He needs to make it a war, make it dirty. Munoz has 3 KO TKOs. He's never been finished by strikes. He has an amazing chin. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's very opportunistic with his submissions, but he doesn't tend to shoot a lot in fights. He has more often recently. He will shoot good reactive single and double leg takedowns at times. He isn't a great wrestler, though. Very few UFC takedowns. He has fantastic takedown defense. He has one of the best guillotines in the business that he'll counter with. On top, he's heavy. He's methodical. He's always looking to get the guillotine. Very good at hurting his opponents with the shot, then jumping on the neck, even from standing position. Even in top position against Brett Johns, he is mainly just attacking with the guillotine, looking for the guillotine. He seems almost like a guillotine specialist. He has 8 career submissions. He's never been submitted. His cardio, his pace, and pressure just break opponents. His best rounds are usually in the later rounds. And Munoz is going to try to get inside, test that chin of Cody. Cody has to be questioning himself after 2 TKO losses. This is kind of a good time for Munoz to capitalize if he can. I think that if Munoz can eat the shots of Garbrandt, continuously walk him down, there is upset potential here. But the former UFC champion Cody Garbrandt is in a make-or-break fight here. He's only 27 years old, but a loss would put him in no man's land in his career, and I'm not sure he's going to, come into this, and I'm sure he's going to come into this matchup very well prepared, ready to go. He has great boxing, blazing hand speed, huge knockout power. He'll throw low leg kicks, but he's predominantly a boxer. He has great distance control. He does a great job landing, then getting out of range. He throws very nice 1-2s, overhand rights. He'll throw a left hook, overhand right combination. His defensive footwork is excellent. He's great at fighting backwards and exploding in with combos. He likes to throw a lead right hook to close the distance, then throw an overhand right. He has excellent head moving. He'll slip and rip with big hooks in the pocket. He'll throw a straight right hook to a straight right hand combination. And he has good front kicks to the body. He's going to be the much more explosive, much faster fighter. And he's going to use his defensive footwork, lateral movement to try to keep this fight in the center. He's going to try to evade, angle off, forward pressure, then blitz in with shots on Munoz and counters. And Garbrandt hits extremely hard and in combination when he finds his range, and it will be interesting to see if Munoz respects that. Garbrandt's very good at sliding back, avoiding leg and body kicks, which Munoz likes to use. He is chinny, though. He's coming off back-to-back losses. He might be questioning himself. He has been finished twice by KO TKO, and he has 9 career TKOs himself. He's a first-round finisher. 7 of those have came in the first round. He's extremely fast twitch. He's explosive. He's not a very active offensive wrestler. He was able to take Dominic Cruz down with some very well-timed shots. He is a former high school wrestler. He possesses those skills, but he has an amazing sprawl, fast hips. He's super hard to hold down. He's never been taken down in his UFC career, and I don't even see Munoz really trying to take him down. He isn't a submission threat. He has none in his career. He's never been submitted. And Garbrandt's most likely going to get the fight he wants here. A very aggressive come-forward striker. Maybe he doesn't have the hand speed to catch him. And Garbrandt's going to use his lateral movement, distance control, try to make Munoz miss, return with blitz attacks. If Munoz doesn't respect the power of Garbrandt, especially early, Cody may get his 10th career knockout. This is a good matchup for Garbrandt. I just feel that he's going to be the much faster guy. I feel that he's going to be able to make Munoz miss and capitalize off that. He has great footwork. He makes fighters pay for being aggressive. Very good at sliding away, blocking kicks, and I think he will frustrate Munoz. Munoz gets hit. He's shown an elite chin, but he's never fought a knockout artist like Cody. I think Cody will be a bit more tentative. I think he's going to come with a game plan needing to win here. And due to that, I see him winning a decisive decision, not taking a ton of risks. If Munoz gets very crazily trying to close the distance, come forward, he could get KO'd, but my pick's going to be Cody Garbrandt via decision in this fight. Up next, we have a very interesting fight with Wheelie Zhang against Tecia Torres. The UFC is pitting a struggling veteran, gets a young upstart, and another potential passing the torch matchup. Tecia Torres, she's one of the most accomplished strawweights of all time. She holds victories over Paige Van Zandt, Rose Namajunas, Felice Herrig, Angela Hill, Michelle Watterson. She isn't old. She's only 29, but she's lost back-to-back fights for the first time in her career. She was facing 2 of the best fighters in the division, so there's no shame in the losses, but she's going to be taking on Wheelie Zhang, who's a powerhouse out of China. She's 18-1. She's 2-0 in the UFC. She's coming off a brutal finish at Jessica Aguilar in the first round. She has only fought 1 time in her career outside of Asia, and it wasn't a great performance against Daniel Taylor, so that's something that has to be considered. But Wheelie Zhang is jacked. She's incredibly strong for the division. She's a powerful striker. She's an elite grappler. She likes to throw a lot of front kicks to the body. She's light on her feet, very fast in and out. She hits hard. She has good inside-outside leg kicks. She'll throw a jab, inside leg kick, or jab body kick. She has nasty front and side kicks to the body. She's excellent at using her side kick to keep opponents at bay. She has nice straight punches. She likes to throw them in combination. She will close the distance with those punches. She has good counter, straight right hands as well. She can get cooked with counter punches when she throws her kicks without setting them up. She will also lean back instead of moving her feet to avoid punches at times. She has very good chin, though. She can eat shots, continue to come forward. She's in perpetual forward motion. She's always walking her opponents down. Good job catching kicks, throwing punches, or taking them down off them. She will swarm when she hurts opponents. She'll throw punches in combination. She likes to throw straight punch and uppercut combinations. When fighters are backed against the cage, she'll throw head kicks as fighters try to exit. She'll also throw spinning back kicks to the head. She can get a little wild inside, throw hard hooks, get countered. Daniel Taylor was able to hurt her with a big counter right hook. And she definitely is a finisher. She has a lot of finishes in her career. And she's a very incredible grappler. She's very physically strong. She's mean. And whenever she's in grappling scenarios, she's trying to do damage. She'll throw vicious knees to the body. She can fold opponents with them. She'll throw hard elbows, punches in the clinch, and when she hurts opponents in the clinch, she'll throw huge ground and pound for the finish. She doesn't let her opponents off the hook. She will throw nasty elbows, hammer fists. If she hurts opponents, she's usually finishing them. She will get the over-under in the clinch, drive opponents to the mat. She's very good in half guard. She'll rain down hard elbows. Danielle Taylor was able to attack with a leg lock, get back to her feet. Zhang loves to get to half guard, then eventually get to side control, get the crucifix position. She'll throw nasty elbows and hammer fists from there. She can bloody the face of opponents with elbows. She brutalized Jessica Aguilar with elbows in her last match. She has smooth passes in the mount. She'll batter opponents from there as well. She likes to take the back, go for rear naked chokes. She has been taken down herself, but she's very good off her back. She has nice butterfly hooks. She'll attack with leg locks of her own. She'll attack with triangle arm bars off her back. Against Jessica Aguilar, she got a high guard. She attacked the triangle, landed brutal elbows, ultimately transitioning to the arm bar. She has 7 career submissions. She's never been submitted. She has incredible cardio. She slowly takes the will away from her opponents. She's going to need to set her kicks up much better in this fight. Use her hands to close the distance first. She can't chase Torres. She needs to cut her off before striking. I don't think that Torres will have the power to stop Zhang from crashing the distance, but if she does, it could be a problem. I think eventually Zhang's going to want to get this fight to the ground. If she can get on top of Torres or anyone in the division for that matter, they're in trouble. I think Zhang has one of the best top games in the division. I also think the later the fight goes on, the more Zhang gets comfortable and the better she gets. And for Tecia Torres, she's a speedy little powerhouse herself. I expect her to want to use her kickboxing, try to move, catch Zhang as she's coming in. Torres does a good job fighting backwards. That's what I expect her to do here. Strong ladder movement, very quick in and out. She has nice 1-2, strong hooks. She'll throw a left hook, straight right hand. She'll throw hooks, move it backwards, and at least susceptible to overhands though, because she has short arms. She will throw hard inside leg and outside leg kicks and big body kicks. She'll try to use side kicks to stop fighters' forward movement. She will explode in with big combinations at times herself, but the problem is that she's undersized. She doesn't have big power. Her last opponent, Jessica Andrade, was able to eat her shots, walk her down at will, and Torres was never willing to take a stand and trade. I expect Zhang to try a very similar game plan on the feet, and we will see if Torres has any adjustments. Torres has 0 KO TKOs in her career. She's never been finished. She's a decent grappler. She's very active in the clinch. She likes to throw hard knees to the body, punches to the head. She has good takedown defense. She's hard to corral. Good off her back, hard to hold down. She has good butterfly hooks. She's able to attack with submissions to force scrambles. Good triangles, nice arm bars. She was able to get up from bottom on Andrade several times. She was also able to get in deep on some body lock takedowns. She was never able to put Andrade on her back, but I do feel like there's a potential she could land a clinch takedown or two against Zhang. But she will be bullied in the clinch overall, in my opinion. She's tired in fights versus Andrade. She was controlling her back in round 3. I actually really think Zhang's going to try to use the same game plan, but a little more technically and maybe not as effective. She won't be as durable or have the takedown offense, in my opinion, that Jessica Andrade has, or the takedown defense. But I do feel that Zhang's better on top. She does a better job of closing the distance. But Torres is going to need to use a lot of ladder movement, cut her off with straight punches, and throw to the body. She could get takedowns, but I feel her best path to victory is to kind of avoid the grappling, because that's Zhang's world. Zhang does a good job staying calm on the ground, eventually sweeping, getting to opposition, and finishing the fight. And she will have a strength and size advantage. If Torres can land clean, rock Zhang, or just keep her on the outside, stab her with kicks, straight punches, just use ladder movement all night, that could win her the decision. But I'm going to pick Wheelie Zhang here. I feel like she's going to be able to cut off the cage, get inside on Torres, take her down eventually. I see Torres always going backwards, Zhang bossing the fight. I think that when Zhang gets inside, she'll be able to land the harder, more impactful, more memorable shots. Could do damage on the ground if it goes there. I don't see her finishing Torres, but I see her slowly running away with the decision. And this is another fight that I have my eye on as a potential bet, but I'm going to go with Wheelie Zhang here to get it done. Up next you have Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren. I mean, this is a fight that I've been looking forward to for a long time. It was supposed to be on the California card that got canceled, but now they're putting it on here, and it's the long-anticipated debut of Ben Askren after years of verbal sparring with Dana White and a retirement, which kind of basically ended the hopes of a UFC run. We're here somehow. And Askren, he's been very brash. He's been talking shit to all the big names in the division. He's reinvigorated. He's ready to prove he's the best in the world. And he has a tough test here. He's going to be facing the former UFC champion Robbie Lawler. Lawler has lost 2 or 3 fights. He's coming off a knee surgery. So you have to question if his better days are behind him, but he has a chance to quell all that noise, catapult right back into contention with the win here. For Ben Askren, he's 18-0. He's one of the best wrestlers in MMA history. He's the former Bellator and 1 welterweight champion. He barely lost any rounds. He's very low-risk style. It may not be the most fan-pleasing, but his wrestling gets the job done. His striking is not a strong suit. He's not very dangerous. He will throw a jab, overhand right. He will throw the occasional leg kick. His hands are very sloppy. He solely throws them to close the distance. Once he gets inside, he's able to get opponents tired in later rounds from grappling. He can land some well-timed stinging jabs sometimes. He'll throw some spinning back fists to close the distance. He'll throw a left hook, straight right hand. He likes to hold his hands out and open to try to parry and hand fight. Try to be, I feel like that's probably the easiest way they could grab a hold of someone from farthest away also. But he can get clipped with big overhand straight punches because of that. He can get hit with uppercuts, with head kicks. He has a fantastic chin. He's ate some big shots in previous fights. I'm not sure if he's ever gotten a standing KO TKO, but he has 6 career KO TKOs in his career. And Ben Askren's wrestling and top game are top notch. He's a 2-time NCAA Division I champion. And when he gets it on the legs or on a body lock, and he gets his hands together, there's no defending that takedown. He has great double legs. He can slam opponents with force. He can get nice body locks in the clinch. He'll use a single leg along with the ankle pick takedown. Does a great job shooting in on the legs, coming up into a body lock, driving through on a takedown. He will shoot over and over, and if opponents defend, he's just relentless, continuously going for it. In top position, Askren is amazing. He loves to get the side control, then get the crucifix position. He'll rain down heavy shots from there. He has good control. He likes to get in that wrestling right position where he'll control a leg, get a seatbelt grip, land hard punches with the free hand. He'll take the back and mount once opponents are weathered and try to finish the fight. On the back, he likes to flatten opponents out, go for ground and pound. He will attack with arm triangles and rear naked chokes. He has 5 career submissions, but he's excellent at just keeping top position, wearing on opponents, keeping fighters on their back. He has no problem going on his back either. His nickname is Funky. He does a great job creating scrambles. He uses butterfly hooks to offset the balance of opponents, slip out the back, or he'll get an underhook coming up into a body lock. He will go for leg locks. He isn't a big submission threat. He more likes to use ground and pound. He hasn't even absorbed a punch in his last 3 fights. He's extremely confident, but he hasn't fought in a year and a half, and he's taking a step up competition here. But with the win here, the sky's the limit for Askren. Askren obviously has only one game plan here. He needs to get inside, put Lawler on his back. I feel if he can implement his style from the start, I feel the longer the fight goes, the better for Askren. But for Robbie Lawler, he's coming off a long layoff as well. He hasn't fought since December 2017, but he's actually fought more recently than Ben has. But, Lawler's coming off a major knee surgery, and a loss here would definitely signify the end of him as a championship caliber fighter, most likely. But Lawler's a ruthless knockout artist with huge power. He's fought the best of the best for years. He's not going to be intimidated by Askren's wrestling. He's had historically great takedown defense, and he's a southpaw striker. He's very good movement. He's going to be constantly moving his body, feinting, slipping to get inside and box. He's very good once he gets inside. Does a good job slipping, rolling with shots, returning with counters. He has a nice jab. He'll throw hard 1-2s, nasty right hook, straight left hand combination. He'll throw an overhand left, less often, but he's good at slipping a shot, then returning with the overhand left or a short left hook. He has a very strong jab, right hook combination, lead right hook in general. He will throw a lot of nice right uppercut, straight left combinations. He loves to get inside, hand fight, and stand right in front of opponents, just go toe-to-toe. He will not back off when opponents throw back. He throws harder shots. He likes, he likes to just stand there and trade, force opponents to stand and trade. And, when opponents try to throw some big shots to keep him off, he just walks right through them. And he will attack the body with jabs, with hooks occasionally. His straight left hand is superb. It really busts the face of opponents up. And Lawler isn't a super active kicker, but he has nice hard leg and body kicks. He obviously gets hit because of his come forward style. He struggles with good kickers. He can get hit with hard leg and body kicks as he slips with his feet planted. So he eats them with full force. Lawler's chin is excellent. When that goes, though, I feel like he'll be much less effective. He's only been finished twice by Nick Diaz, Tyron Woodley over his career. And there's no secret what Lawler wants to do here. That's knock him out. He has 20 career knockouts and 28 wins. He's been notoriously hard to take down over his career. He isn't worried whatsoever about taking the fight to the ground himself. Even when he gets hurt, he prefers to stand and trade until one man drops. And, Lawler's very good in the clinch. He gets good head position. He'll throw hard uppercuts, big hooks. Showed that against Donald Cerrone, beating him up in the clinch there. He's incredibly explosive. He's still going to be the much superior athlete to Askren. He's a dynamic sprawl, good overall takedown defense, great at getting his hips away, snapping opponents to the mat. He has heavy hips. He has a strong base. It's hard to take him down with double legs. He makes his opponents pay for takedown attempts with good uppercuts, hard knees, big shots to the head. He will swarm opponents after they're unsuccessful on a takedown attempt or when he gets up. Doesn't let them rest. And Hendricks was able to take him down a couple times against the fence, but Lawler is able to do good damage from that position as well. He'll throw nice uppercut punches from the seated position. He has good butterfly hooks. He has decent get-ups. I don't think he'll be able to get up if he's put on his back by Askren, though, but Lawler has been submitted 4 times in his career, but his submission defense is not bad. He's never had a submission attempt in his entire UFC Strikeforce career, so I don't expect him to go for a submission here. He does have one career submission all the way back in 2005, but Lawler's going to need to go forward in this fight, use a lot of body movement, feints, keep Askren guessing, make him pay for takedown attempts. He should utilize low leg kicks early, try to slow the movement, the shots of Askren. Askren has been susceptible to leg kicks before. It could be effective in slowing him down. If Lawler can keep this fight on the feet, he will win almost 100% of the time. I do think maybe Lawler isn't 100% of what he used to be, but he's still a beast, man. He blew his knee out versus RDA, so I kind of throw that performance out. People like to talk about how he got taken down by Cerrone, but to me that was more due to how he fought. He's fighting a guy who's a serious kicker. He struggled to get in the pocket versus kickers in the past, evident against Carlos Condit. So he had a game plan to crash in the clinch, beat Cowboy up from there. He got taken out a few times because of that, because he wanted to create a grappling fight, but here that game plan will be a complete opposite. I see Robbie exploding to start rounds like he did against Hendricks, trying to inflict damage early, get Askren kind of hesitant to close the distance later in the round. I think the straight left hand combos in the pocket for Robbie will be there all day. He'll be able to land clean shots. I think Robbie does tend to fight in spurts. He can back off at the end of the rounds, and he can't afford to do that versus Askren, because if Askren gets a hold of him, takes him down, he's probably going to lose that round. Askren is going to need to avoid the striking here as much as possible. He needs to shoot low outside singles, ankle pick takedowns from the outside from the start. He needs to try to use Lawler's aggressiveness against him when he's using those sprawls, try to get him to sprawl, maybe then get an underhook, come up and try to take him down with a body lock. But if he comes up with, if he's able to chain those takedowns together, I think he can ultimately get the takedown. But I just think Robbie Lawler is going to win this fight, man. I think he's the superior athlete, striker. I think if he can land clean shots on Askren, I'm not sure Askren can take the shots. I think Robbie's going to bust Askren up with a jab, with a straight left. I see him swarming early, then trying to use movement, catch Askren coming in and later in the rounds. And I just see Lawler being able to keep it on the feet more often, do damage. I do think Askren has a very good chin. I'm not sure if he's going to 100% finish him, but I just think the gap is going to be too big not to predict a finish on the feet if I think Lawler is going to stand up a long time. So the pick's going to be Lawler via second round KO TKO. And I'm going to go with the upset there and try to see if Robbie Lawler has anything left in the tank. And up next, we have the co-main event, the UFC welterweight title on the line with Tyron Woodley. He's back. He's ready to take on another young contender. He submitted Darren Till in his last fight as the underdog. He's another stiff test here against Marty Usman. Usman is a long, powerful wrestler. He's riding a 15-fight win streak. He's 9-0 in the UFC. And Tyron Woodley is a very cerebral fighter. He shows up with a game plan. He executes it to a T. He's there to win. He doesn't care about putting on a show for the fans. He's one of the most athletic fighters in the UFC. He's up there with Yoel Romero for the most explosive athlete in the sport. The distance he can cover and speed and power of his overhand right is just unbelievable, man. He has numerous highlight reel KOs with that punch. It's one of the most devastating strikes in the history of the UFC. And that right hand gives him the ability to somewhat control distance, even though he's usually the much shorter fighter. It makes opponents hesitant to close the distance, get into range. He always has that right hand cocked, so he kind of freezes opponents. He doesn't let them get their game off. He did that very effectively against Stephen Thompson. He has a decent jab, good 1-2 when you close the distance. And that's something new that he's implemented, a lot of feints, a lot of 1-2s in the pocket that he used to didn't throw. Like when you watch him fight Rory McDonald or Jake Shields, all he's looking for is that overhand right. He's also improved his footwork against the cage a lot now, where before he would be a very flat-footed. He would stand in the same spot against the cage at times. Now he's very cognizant of using those feints, making his opponents react, getting the read, then circling off, and then when it happens again, then exploding in when he finds the chance. He has brutal leg kicks, which I think could be effective in this fight. He'll also throw front kicks to the body. He doesn't have a huge toolbox on the feet. That's why he doesn't throw a lot. He doesn't expose himself to many striking engagements. But the thing that he does have is that right hand. It's such a dangerous weapon that he can get away with it while still being extremely effective. He's a finisher. When he hurts you, he swarms. He does a great job using footwork to cut off the cage, bomb on you with that right hand and take you out. We saw him drop Darren Till in his last fight. And when he lands clean, man, I mean, people are just going to sleep. I mean, you've seen that over his career with like the way that he dropped Stephen Thompson, the way he knocked out Dun Young Kim, the way he knocked out Carlos Condit, or not Carlos Condit, I'm sorry, the way he knocked out Josh Koscheck, Jay Haran, I mean, Andre Galvao. I mean, he has a lot of highlight reel knockouts. He's just a freak, man, and he's an incredible striker. He's a national champion wrestler. He has good double leg. He's very, very strong, very explosive. He's good at grabbing the single, driving you to the cage, transitioning to double leg, taking opponents down. He's strong in the clinch as well. He can control opponents, gets the cage. He'll throw nice knees in the clinch to the head. He doesn't go for many takedowns himself. I don't see him going for a lot of takedowns here. I do believe he will try to control try to control Usman against the fence a little bit if he has the opportunity, because I do feel the opportunity that Usman's going to crash a lot could wear him out. And I feel like if he does get on top, we saw that ground and pound that he had against Darren Till. So if he drops, Kamaru Usman gets on top, I definitely think he's a little bit better with jiu-jitsu, because we saw Kamaru Usman get countered with that Kimura against RDA multiple times. RDA was able to stand up from under him. RDA attacked with multiple submissions, actually. So I feel like Usman maybe is susceptible to getting submitted, especially if he's on his back. I don't think he's probably never used to that. But for Tyron Woodley, he has some of the best takedown defense in welterweight history, and it's going to be very hard to take him down. I mean, I feel like Usman's game plan is most likely going to be to try to hold him against the fence, look for takedowns. That's going to be a hard thing to do. For Woodley, his cardio is always questioned. I don't know why. He knows how to pace himself. He hurt Stephen Thompson in the 4th and 5th rounds of their fights. Obviously, he still carried the power. He was able to win all the rounds against Damian Maia. He's also one of those guys who has, the world against me mentality, everyone doubting him. And he's definitely trained 100%. He's ready to retain the title, prove he's one of the greatest welterweights in the world. And I think he's going to have a similar game plan to his previous 3 fights, just try to walk Usman into that straight right or to the overhand right and knock him out. But Usman, he does a good job landing the jab, switching stances. He's pretty good from both stances. He tends to spend more time in southpaw. He has a good jab, straight left hand. He likes to throw a left hook, right hook combination. He is very good at feinting single legs and coming up with uppercuts, overhands. He's very powerful. He can knock fighters out with one shot. Show that against Sergio Moraes. He likes to use a right uppercut, left high kick combination. He does a good job keeping Kots at pressure, pushing his opponents backwards. He has good leg and body kicks. He can come forward and look for the knockout, and it makes himself very hittable because he's a little bit plodding. He wings a lot of shots, and when he's loose and flowing, he's much more dangerous with the striking. He has a good chin. When he gets hit, he'll taunt his opponents, and he's never been finished with strikes. He doesn't have big power. He does have big power. He only has that one knockout, though. He is a college wrestling national champion. He's an elite wrestler. Very fast, athletic, close and distant with his double legs. He's a very strong single leg. He's very strong, and when he gets a hold of fighters, he usually gets them down. He's good at holding them against a clinch. He's really good at shooting that single leg from southpaw, and that's why his feints are so effective. Does a great job getting that high crotch, taking opponents down. Then you'll also change it into a double leg. He does leave his head on the outside. It could leave an opening for a guillotine. He has great mat returns. When opponents try to stand up, he'll just slam back down to the ground. He has nice trip takedowns. He's just a very dynamic, diverse wrestler overall. Does a good job laying a hard ground and pound from mount. He stays heavy. He'll control and half guard. And he'll attack with kimuras. He tries to move to mount. He has good ground and pound. He has good arm triangles. That's his only submission victory is the arm triangle. He needs to use his jab, feint snatch singles, then come up with shots, and then eventually try to get Tyron Woodley against the cage, control him there, back him up. But I expect Woodley to come out in this fight, have Usman hesitant early, reacting to what he's going to do. Usman knows that Woodley is super explosive. He's powerful early. Usman has to respect that. He's going to get knocked out. Usman needs to use a lot of kicks, long-range strikes, try to fight long. Usman's going to be a much slower. He's a bit of a plotter. His game plan is going to try to hold Woodley against the cage, in my opinion. I think Woodley's going to feint, attack with a lot of uppercuts, try to negate the single legs of Usman. I don't think Usman's going to have much success taking Woodley down. I think that if anything, I think that the success he'll have is holding him against the cage. I also see Woodley attacking with hard low kicks early and often because Usman's very heavy on that lead leg. I would not be surprised if you hurt the lead leg of Usman. Woodley has proved his movement against the cage so much. He used to be much more flat-footed, not faint, just stand in one spot. Now he's conscious to fake, make opponents react, get the read, then circle. And when he sees the opportunity, he closes the distance, he hits that brutal shot, and it's usually a one-shot and done. And I think Usman only knows one way to fight. It's come forward, be aggressive. He isn't a long-range striker. He isn't going to turn into Roy McDonald, throw long jabs, feint kicks. And he enters the pocket with wide hooks. I think Woodley's going to get the read on that. I think he's eventually going to time and land a counter straight right hand. Usman's stiff. And in the center, I think Woodley can land clean shots due to his speed at all times. We saw RDA was able to clip Usman with some big shots, close the distance pretty easily. And, man, I mean, I think that in the center, Usman's going to be in constant danger. But I think Woodley's going to win this fight, second round KO. And I'm riding with my boy, Tyron Woodley, man. I mean, bet on him against Darren Till. And I think he's going to get it done here. I think that this is a fairly easy matchup for Tyron Woodley. So I'm going with Tyron Woodley via second round KO. Man, and up next here, the main event, we have the return of Jon Jones. Kind of a treat that we're getting Jon Jones fight 2 times this quickly. I mean, he hasn't fought 2 times in, 2 years, and now we're getting to see him fight 2 times in a few months, so that's pretty cool. But, he came back. He looked dominant against Alexander Gustafsson. I mean, shut Gustafsson completely down, was able to show off that grappling. Eventually, he took him to the ground, just overwhelmed him on the ground. I actually think Jon Jones is probably the best 205er in terms of jiu-jitsu, top control, top game in the whole division. He has the best kicks in the division, the best distance control in the division. Incredible fight IQ. I mean, the ability that he has to adjust mid-fight is just phenomenal. And, man, I mean, I just don't see many avenues to victory here for Anthony Smith. I mean, Anthony Smith, he's been finished 12 times in his career. He is long, he's tall himself, he's 6'4". So, I mean, people said that Jon Jones kind of struggles with guys that are maybe similar height to him. But, I mean, I don't really know a path to victory for Anthony Smith. I mean, Anthony Smith is strong in the clinch. He has good shots at clinch. So maybe he could catch Jones with a big elbow, big knee, and change the tide of the fight and make history here, man. But I just struggle to see it, man. Anthony Smith got exhausted against Volkan Ozdemir. He was taken down by Ozdemir. He's hitting some huge shots by Ozdemir. And, man, I just see Jon Jones. He's very, very motivated. I think that he's here to prove that he's the best in the world. He wants to put this past behind him. And, man, I just struggle to see Anthony Smith last around here, man. I really do. I think that Jon Jones is going to come out. I think that he's going to go for the takedown early. I think that he's going to get Anthony Smith on the ground. I think that he's going to do whatever he wants, man. I think he's going to be able to move in and mount if he wants to. I think he's going to get into half guard, land big shots. I think he's going to be able to just take Anthony Smith out on the ground, man, in the first round. So the pick's going to be Jon Jones, first round, TKO on the ground, or a submission after he softens him up with punches. But, yeah, man, I don't see that fight being extremely competitive. I just don't. If you in the comment, if you think there's a path to victory for Anthony Smith, what you think it is, put it in the comments. But, man, I mean, other than Anthony Smith landed a big shot, I don't see a big path to victory for him in this fight, man. But for the most confident pick, I'm going to say Jon Jones is the most confident pick. And for the parlay of the week for you guys, I'm going to give you Maisie, Chiasson and Marlon Vera as the parlay of the week. And I just had something that I was thinking about over on BetMMATips. I've been putting my bets on there for, close to a year now. And I was just wondering if this would be something you guys would want to do to support the show. If I was to put my bets on there, maybe charge $5, something like that. Maybe just to get something better for the channel, stuff like that, just to improve. And, just some money for the hard work that I do as well. And, I feel like maybe if I could put those, I'm going to keep the video the exact same way, but I'm just wondering if you guys would support me on that. What you guys think would you guys be interested in going over there and purchasing like a few bets that I place on BetMMATips for like $5 or something, just something very cheap. But, I feel like it's a good way to support the channel a little bit as well as win some money for yourself, hopefully with the bets that I give you. So, you can go over there. You can check out my page. I don't know if I'm probably not gonna do it for the next couple events, but just something that I'm gonna throw out there. Just get the vibe. So please put in the comments what you think, if you would support that, if you think that I should hold off a little bit or something. But just let me know what you think. And I'm gonna be going to this event for UFC 235. I'm gonna be at everything. I've already talked to a few people in terms of where we're gonna meet up and we're gonna meet each other, say what's up, talk some fights a little bit. So if anyone's in town for this fight for UFC 235, they want to meet up, talk some fights, do something, meet each other at the weigh-ins, whatever, just shoot it in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter. Always down to, meet up, talk some fights. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back next week, and hopefully we can cash these bets. Make sure